Bryce Hall.
We need Trump back. Really bad.
This is fucking hilarious to me because, like, there's absolutely zero difference between him doing this and Little Pimp. Little Pimp. This is not a good thing. It's a bad thing. It is another glaringly obvious signal to those who understand a thing or two about politics that Donald Trump not doing great. Okay? Not doing great. Chalk that up. Chalk that up to Trump not doing a great job. He's dressed like a 5-year-old who got permission to dress himself for the first time ever. I mean, that's like his outfit is not the main point of contention I have here. Were you on the TMG podcast with Bryce? Yes. Bryce is a TikToker. He was a TikTok heartthrob. I think he's like a funny dude. And I thought he was a nice guy. And what ended up happening was he started doing bare knuckle boxing because everybody called him a pussy. And he was pretty decent at it as far as I understand. He started like winning. And I think he might have gotten CTE in the process because he went from like being an open-minded, like a relatively open-minded TikTok fuckboy who's like kind of funny to just like leaning into the MAGA grift. In what I suspected early on was like a meme for the most part. And then he full blown now is like, I guess, MAGA. You know? So many Americans get CT and become MAGA Republican. Yeah. But when Taylor Swift endorses Kamala, it's awful.
I'm allowed to criticize Taylor Swift, and I don't give a shit who gets upset. This is disgusting. If she wants to vote Harris Walz, she can do it all she wants. But to say the reason she's doing it is because of Tim Walz's stance on LGBTQ, F you, Taylor Swift.
This has brought out all the fucking demons. Here is an old demon that we... Why doesn't CT...
And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world. The first time this century. What? But let's understand.
So where the fuck are we right now?
That's
and
funny.
As of today...
Okay, that's a good one. Hey, they ain't wrong. I'm going to run it back. It's funny.
And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world. The first time this century. What? But let's understand.
So where the fuck are we right now?
As a veteran, how the fuck are they in a combat zone? What do you mean? There's still troops in fucking Iraq and Syria. What are we talking about? Bro, every other week there's like Iraq or Syria may not be designated as combat zones. I'm not positive, but they may or may not have lost their combat designations. They don't count. I mean, dude, there's definitely still troops in Iraq and Syria. What's funny about it is that there's always like another story about like Iran gave a concussion to one of our best troops in Syria or Iraq. And it's like, why are they there? You know what I mean? What the fuck? Why are they there? What do you mean? You didn't know this? Like, how do you think troops just like materialize underneath an Iranian bombing campaign? Magically, whenever there's like any kind of issue in the area and Iran's like, oh yeah, we're going to retaliate by striking an American military base. What are they doing there? What they're doing there is exactly the same thing that they were doing in Afghanistan, protecting American material interests, okay? Protecting oil fields. That's what they are doing. Now, technically, you might not consider that to be a combat zone, an active combat zone, but you know, they're doing the same shit that they're always doing. American imperialism.
Make America great again.
There are 2,500 troops left in Iraq. They are not considered in a combat theater. They're trained advisors, for example, how the trainers and advisors, that's just how the military does the wording. Yeah. Like, it's a weird situation because it's like in between. It's a country that you have invaded wholesale, right? You've completely invaded with on the ground, like active boots on the ground military warfare. But then beyond that, the designation changes when you withdraw most of your troops, but you still leave some behind for trainers and advisory positions. And they're there to protect the interests of America, obviously. But under the American designation, it might be considered one of the 800 military bases we have. There's like there's almost 200,000 troops that are active right now in overseas military bases. Right? But it's not considered a combat zone. Like there are a shit ton of American bases in Turkey. Right? Those guys are not technically considered they're not in a combat zone, right? But with Iraq, it gets a little bit different because it's not necessarily just a NATO ally. It's not like the Marines in Okinawa, right? They are in an area that until very recently was an invasion. But yeah, shouts out to Bryce for being a brave and bold American. You can't even fucking endorse Donald Trump no more. You know what I mean? Thoughts on Bryce Hall being promised a treasury role in Trump's office? I think we need more of that. We need more smart guys like Bryce running the show over there, you know? Look at Nelk with Trump. They're like not even American, which is even funnier. His girlfriend is literally an immigrant. I think someone said she's Cuban from Florida, so you know, it don't work that way.